Hey, what's up, y'all? Happy Monday, happy Monday, happy Monday. I know it's been a minute since we last had Monday Night Live. I want to say it's maybe been a few weeks or so. But here we are, and I know this is the last official Monday Night Live that we're going to be doing tonight. So no tears are necessary, y'all. Don't cry. I'll be sure to provide an update at the end of our time together. What's next for Transform 314? Because we ain't going nowhere. So, but yeah, y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready to get into the show? So, let's get into this. Let me share my screen with y'all real quick here, so we can get into this. So, y'all, let's get into it. So, we are starting with our St. Louis County fam. So, for people that may not be aware out there, the St. Louis County Council this week, they gave the green light to a development project, to Boeing's development project. And this is kind of a big deal, y'all. So, what is this development? What does it entail? So, this development project, referred to as Project Voyager, I know, right? It's a construction project, like obviously for Boeing, to support new aerospace programs. The project is being designed on not one, but two sites in North County, y'all, right next to the airport. So one site in Berkeley, and there's one site in unincorporated St. Louis County. So both of these buildings, or these sites, or whatever it is, total about 1 million square feet, y'all. So that's what we're talking about. That's why this is large. 1 million square feet. That's hella square footage. So what did St. Louis County Council approve, right? What was this green light given on? What did they okay? So St. Louis County Council, they passed a bill on Tuesday that will issue 1.8 billion with the B, y'all. Yes, that is not a typo. $1.8 billion in bonds. Also, the bill provides a bit of a tax incentive on these new sites that are being developed. So this doesn't mean that Boeing ain't gonna pay no taxes, no property taxes. That's not what this is. But they're not gonna pay full property taxes. And that tax incentive, it only applies to these new buildings. So it don't apply to their current facility. Also, for this construction project, Boeing will not have to pay sales taxes. So that's what St. Louis County Council, that's what they approved through legislation on Tuesday. So in return, because this is considered an investment, right? So in return, this development is looking to create 500 new full-time jobs within the next few years, with an average salary of $90,000, y'all. And also, obviously, this development is looking to provide additional and diverse work opportunities for St. Louis, and to support the continued use of the airport. Now, as there was discussion being made among the county council members when they put down their final vote, I think they all clearly voted. Most of them did. There was one person, I think off the top of my head, that didn't, and Councilwoman Webb, she abstained because she works for Boeing. But the folks that did approve this development said, hey, y'all, like, first off, St. Louis County broke, right? And, St. Louis County needs to really consider these huge types of projects when we're looking at, again, being strategic about our economic development and our investments, and also looking to the broader region. I mean, you have companies that are threatening to leave damn near every other week because of crime, because people leaving, like all of this stuff. And Boeing is a huge employer for our region. So it's like, we need to invest in this to make sure we are continuing to see returns on when we're talking about economic development, and not just in St. Louis County or in North County, but throughout the whole region. So they really view this as a legit investment for our region. And And so, which is cool, but I do want to ask my North County fam out there, what do y'all think about this investment? How are y'all feeling? I know I have a couple of questions about this investment being made with Boeing. I guess, obviously, we're talking about 1 million square feet, right, of what these projects will consist of. So will these construction efforts be intentional about employing our Black-owned businesses, our construction companies, our contractors, all of that? I hope that is prioritized. And also these jobs, 500 new-time, full-time jobs, paying $90,000 a year. Who are these jobs intended for? And I hope, because this project is going to be in North County, I'm hoping these jobs will support North County residents. I'm just saying, I'm curious to see how that goes and what that employment makeup looks like for North County residents. I'm just saying, I mean, they there, right? So to be continued, but y'all, please let me know your thoughts in the comments, because I'm curious, especially my North County fam, kind of how y'all feel about this development, because it's gonna happen. The St. Louis County Council, again, they approved it, they gave it the green light. So just curious to know what y'all's thoughts and concerns and ideas are about that. Now, the second thing I wanted to lift up, the second highlight regarding St. Louis County. So my St. Louis County fam, I don't know if y'all are aware, but here us in the city, because y'all know I'm a city girl. But in the city, our Board of Aldermen passed a bill that makes it illegal for folks to carry a weapon if they don't have a valid concealed carry license. So that bill passed in the city of St. Louis. However, what's happening in the county, right? Like, what's the county equivalent to that? Because contrary to popular opinion, and people might not see it like this, but St. Louis City and St. Louis County, we are one region, y'all. Period. We are one region. So it don't make sense if we're passing these gun control measures in the city and there's nothing similar happening in the county. That's dumb. So I wanted to, again, this second highlight, Councilwoman Webb, again, because the math ain't mathing, y'all. So I wanted to play this clip because there's a bill introduced, sponsored by Councilwoman Webb, that would kind of help with, again, making sure that the math is math, and when we're talking about addressing gun violence in our region. So listen to the clerk read her bill about what this will entail.
Bill number 203, introduced by Councilmember Webb, an ordinance amending Title 7, Chapter 712, St. Louis County Revised Ordinances 1974, has amended the Firearms Code by repealing and reenacting Section 712.040 and adding and enacting 2 new sections pertaining to the unlawful display of firearms.
Now, I'm going to tell y'all right now, I don't know exactly what this bill is given. I haven't looked at it. I haven't read it, but I'm looking forward to really hearing more about what this bill even entails, what it does, what it doesn't do, and how will it really impact making sure we don't have all these damn guns out here on the street. So 2 things. I am looking forward to seeing like what this bill is giving. And most importantly, hopefully, maybe we can only hope, we can only dream that this is the start of St. Louis City and St. Louis County really coming together and collaborating and coordinating their efforts, especially around something as, something that impacts the city and the county, that impacts our overall region, is just how much it's easy to access these guns. And so, like I said, hopefully this is a start in the city and the county really collaborating on efforts, especially around these bills and this legislation. So I don't know. We can only hope. We can only dream. But, hopefully we keep it moving in that direction to work together, because it's going to take all of us to address these huge issues in our region. So that's it for St. Louis County. We are moving right along, y'all. To our city highlights. So the first highlight, everybody named mama always asking me, Kelly, what's going on with ARPA funding? Kelly, what's going on with these ARPA coins? Kelly, what's the city doing with this ARPA funding? So for those who don't know, ARPA is an acronym for American Rescue Plan Act. And the city of St. Louis got about $500 million in this funding from the feds is supposed to address, is being used to address a lot of the negative impacts that COVID-19 had on communities and on our local government and et cetera, et cetera. So people want to know what the city is working on, where are they at with the spending of the coins, all of that. So I wanted to lift up one thing. And this is an allocation of ARPA funding in the city through the neighborhood transformation grants. So this grant opportunity is being administered by the city's CDA, aka the Community Development Agency. So the CDA had a public meeting. This was on Friday around 1 on Zoom. On Zoom it was. And they basically presented or showed like what organizations, what entities, whatever were awarded these grants. So these grants totaled about $20.2 million, as y'all can see from the screen. And like I said, they were made possible by ARPA coins. Now, the application period was from March 14th, so 314 day, to May 15th. So you had about 2 months for folks to complete the, to fill out the application if they want to apply for these coins. So what were the eligible uses? What are the eligible uses, right, for this grant funding? So as you see here on the slide, where it says ARPA-funded neighborhood transformation grants, those are kind of the buckets, right, or the eligible uses that organizations could use the funding for. So $6.75 million was allocated, of the 20 million was allocated towards housing production, again focusing on affordable housing. 4 million of that towards proactive development. And I want to lift up what that means. So, and I'm reading this from the CDA's website, which is on the City of St. Louis's website. But basically, proactive development means when organizations have the capacity to do pre-development and environmental remediation. And environmental remediation pretty much means like removing asbestos, removing lead, like those types of things. So this proactive development basically means organizations that are doing some type of development to make sure that a maybe former property or whatever that nothing could happen in because it was vacant or it was unhealthy because it was asbestos and lead. So they come in, redevelop that for a use that is productive to the community. So we're looking at providing childcare opportunities, providing food services, providing health services, things of that nature. So that's proactive development. We also have home repair. So 5 million was allocated towards that. And neighborhood beautification and capacity building, $4.5 million was allocated towards that. And then underneath this on the slide, they also talked about funding around housing production, which I'm not going to discuss. But if y'all want to hear all of the details about all of those things, you can definitely go to the city's YouTube channel. And that's where you can find this full presentation. So y'all, like I said, I'm not going to go through all of these things because it was a lot. The meeting, I think it was like an hour or an hour and a half. So if you do want to go through and hear what the evaluation criteria was and the total number of applications that were submitted and all of that stuff, go to the city's YouTube channel and find this meeting that took place on Friday, September 22nd. Do that. Okay. I'm not going to relive all of that. But I did want to lift up and highlight because they did really quickly. I mean, they skimmed through these slides because I think they really wanted to focus on make sure people had time to ask questions of the CDA staff and stuff like that around the application process and all of that stuff. So they kind of skipped through. Yeah, they did. They skipped through really quickly the organizations that were awarded what. But I wanted to highlight a few of the organizations that were awarded in their projects because you know, I believe sharing is caring. And I learned quite a bit about new organizations that I didn't even know existed. And also, I learned about existing organizations, maybe that I knew of. And I learned about some of the efforts that they're looking to implement in this upcoming year. So, this first project through the proactive development bucket, just that one, the North Grand Neighborhood Service, and their project is looking to rehab a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single-family house in the JVL neighborhood. They were able to get $100,000 in these coins towards their efforts. You also have the St. Joseph Housing Initiative, and they were looking to acquire 6 vacant single-family properties for redevelopment. And this is the deep South Side, y'all. So Dutchtown, Mount Pleasant, Carondelet neighborhoods. They were able to get about $90,000 for their efforts. Then the next couple of projects here, we've got Jubilee Community Development Corporation, and their project is looking to rehab the Elliott School building into the Jubilee Wellness Center, which will be an opioid treatment and transitional housing facility. This is in the Fairgrounds neighborhood. They were able to get $500,000 towards their efforts. Also, Old North St. Louis Restoration Group, their project is looking to stabilize 3 historic buildings in Old North St. Louis in that neighborhood and expand one of their community gardens. They were able to get almost $250,000 for this project. And then lastly, but certainly not least, these last 2 orgs. So the Favor Foundation for Strengthening Families, and their project is the Show Me Family Zone, which is looking to convert a vacant LRA property into an early childhood educational facility. The Good Shepherd Academy for Boys will offer 40 slots to low-income families. This project is in Hamilton Heights neighborhood, so on the west side, and they were awarded about $413,000 towards their project. And then the last organization I wanted to highlight in its efforts are Gateway Global American Youth and Business Alliance, Inc., aka Gateway Global. And their project is looking to acquire the former Most Holy Trinity School building and develop a geospatial and IT workforce and apprenticeship campus. Go off, y'all, go off. This is happening in the Hyde Park neighborhood, and they were able to get $350,000 towards that effort. So, like I said, y'all, it was a very informative presentation. People that had applied, they were able to ask questions of the staff, of the CDA staff. So definitely check out the full presentation on YouTube if you have yet to do so. And also, if you're curious, because CDA staff, they seem like really helpful, and they seem like they really want to engage and answer folks' questions if they have anything about this and all that. And they also mentioned that there are additional opportunities to get funding as well next year. So if you've got any questions about your application, if you apply for the grant, feel free to reach out to them. So their contact information, it is provided on the slide here. So definitely reach out if you have questions. So the second highlight I wanted to lift up, y'all. The Board of Aldermen clearly on their break. They've been working on some bills because this week, which is, I think, it was their second week since they were on break. They introduced more than 7 new bills. But these are the bills that I'm keeping and that we're going to be keeping a watch over on Transform 314 to see like what happens with these bills. So these bills, and as y'all can see, the board bill number is there. So if y'all want to use Google as your friend to get a sense to read these bills, if that's something you're into, and see like when their committee hearings and all that stuff are, feel free to do that. So feel free, you can take a screenshot, whatever, of this slide and look this information up yourself. But a really quick, super high level overview. The bills that were introduced this week, there are a couple that are looking to, again, implement some type of control measures in the city of St. Louis. There's also a bill. They looking to bring back red light cameras because y'all cousins is out here wilding out driving. So yes, it's looking like red light cameras might make a comeback here in the city of St. Louis because y'all cousins tripping. Also, I'm interested to see what this neighborhood traffic safety improvement fund is given. So in addition to some traffic safety measures, we also have bills looking to really support tenants in various capacities and also support workers and employees' rights with fair scheduling. So I haven't read through these bills yet to see what they're really giving, but I am looking forward to really checking them out in their committee meeting. So if y'all are curious or you kind of get stuck after you use Google as your friend to find these bills and also to figure out what committee they've been assigned to and when the committee hearing is, and because you may want to testify or you want to reach out to your alderperson about how you feel about these bills, please be sure to contact us. You can comment below or you can shoot me an email at kelly@transform314.org, and I'll be sure to point you in the right direction. But it should be interesting. And then the last highlight I wanted to lift up, y'all. So I don't know if people, my city folks, do y'all know that we have a mental health board in the city of St. Louis? And the only reason why I'm lifting this up, and this is relevant to the Board of Aldermen meeting that happened on Friday, because there were some new members being considered on the meeting agenda. So this is related to the meeting, y'all, I promise. But from some of the feedback we've gotten through our Transform 314 campaign, a lot of folks feel like there needs to be more services and resources to support the mental health needs of folks in our region, right? So I just want to lift up, again, an opportunity for people to engage in this space, because people seem like they're very passionate about this. So the city's mental health board, if people didn't know, is in the city of St. Louis, right, is an independent taxing district, and it's authorized to administer public funds, y'all, coins, dinero, moolah, dead presidents, for behavioral health and children's services for the benefit of city residents. So this board, they don't provide the direct services. It doesn't provide direct services, but the board makes funding available for direct services operated by nonprofit agencies. And so there are two funds that this board administers. So one is the Community Children's Services Fund, which is committed to improving the well-being of children from birth through age 18 in the city of St. Louis by investing in a wide array of quality programs from prevention to treatment and supporting the development of a coordinated system of services for children. And then the second fund that they administer is the Community Mental Health Fund. And this fund invests in accessible, high quality behavioral health and substance use recovery services. The evidence-based practices used by many grantees are effective and economical, leading to measurable results that improve the quality of life for city residents. So again, I just wanted to lift that up so people were aware, not only for them to potentially apply for the board, and also what I learned. So they have public meetings. They have to, right, every month. And so if you see the slide, save the date. The next St. Louis City Mental Health Board meeting is on October 19th from 5:30 to 7:30, and you can join them in person. I have the address listed here. And they also have a virtual option. So they also stream it on Zoom. So definitely pencil that in on your calendar if you're really interested to see what kind of business that this board handles when we're talking about supporting the mental health needs of residents. So if you want more information about the Zoom information, like I said, about the meeting, you want to access meeting minutes, hell, you want to see who the board members are, head to stlmhb.org. And I really do want to lift up that in addition to this board commission, also on St. Louis County side, there are quite a few boards and commissions where we, and when I say we, I'm talking about people that look like me, are not We're not in these spaces, and we know how important it is for us to be at the table to lend our lived experiences and perspectives when we're talking about making decisions. I mean, this board, they administer 2 different funds, okay? And they direct where coins go to support mental health. So you have a lot of boards and commissions where you can have an influence and say on how things roll out in our community. So message. So let's keep it moving, because we focused on what happened during the Board of Aldermen meeting. So during the Board of Aldermen meeting on Friday, Alderwoman Sharon Tyus, our favorite, right? Vocal alderperson in the city's Board of Aldermen. So she sounds off, y'all, very consistently, pretty much damn near at every meeting with an issue, because she feels like these, recommendations that the mayor puts forward with the appointment or reappointment of folks on these boards and commissions, she feels like they do not reflect the city's representation when we talk about its residents. And specifically, she talking about folks living on the north side. She said these folks that the mayor is putting forward, ain't nobody from the north side. So I'm going to play this clip because it lays out again what Alderwoman Sharon Tyus says, what her beef is with these recommended appointments and reappointments from the mayor when we're talking about the mental health board.
Discriminatory against us. And so I cannot vote for these people because they do not live north of Page. And as I said, I'm finishing with my report, and it's going to be a map, and it's going to be a very ugly map. And I have the letters that I've wrote to her. And the only time that we were able to get the current mayor, to nominate some other people is because she couldn't get her nominations through. And so she had to do some people from North St. Louis. But I think that is a shame that the mayor would take that position. And if she was doing it to South St. Louis, I would say the same thing she's doing to Central Quarter. Our city is a complete city. And part of the problems that we're having now is because people have never dealt with the city as a complete city. They think if I just get mine, it'll be okay. And so these appointments to me are illegal and they should not be done. So my no vote is not personal. My no vote is not being represented. And we have 4 older people who live north of Page, 3 or 4. Depending on where the 14th ward runs there, but it is not right to leave that many people out. And there are people who are perfectly able to do it. And when she listened, we submitted people who have been very good people, but she seems to just have an agenda of that she does not want to hear that we are supposed to be represented. This is a person who ran on being the first Black female mayor of the city of St. Louis. And so the people who live in North St. Louis don't see representation. It's my job to point that out over and over again.
Over and over again. Yes, y'all. Alderwoman Tyus, she don't play that. She will remind people over and over and over and over and over again about this issue. So, the question is this like legit, like, or is this like a bit of like some petty political ish, right? So, I will say again, because I just made a plea, right, of people that look like me, my fellow Black St. Louisans, I just made a plug, right, for folks to get engaged and involved and apply to be on these boards and commissions. So yeah, overall, we are not represented at all when it comes to us sitting in these spaces and being at these tables making these decisions. Now, I know Alderwoman Tyus, she's specifically looking at not just race, but geographic representation. So her qualm is that these folks being appointed to these boards don't live in North City. And according to her, North City is north of Page. Okay. I'm just telling you what the sister said. Okay. And so she said that she's working on a report. She has a map. It looks really bad to really show that North City residents are not being represented in these spaces and at these tables. So I'm curious to see. And Alderwoman Tyus, she's a lawyer by trade. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure she's got the receipts and she's been around for hella. So I'm looking forward to seeing like what these receipts are that she produces. And I mean, I don't know, like, is it political pettiness? I mean, I don't I don't really know. I ain't gonna get into all that drama, but you know, it's maybe a little bit a combination of both. But I do think it is important that we are fairly represented in these spaces and these tables and these chairs and these seats, because it is definitely needed and so necessary for us to really have a say and shape what we have access to and what we don't have access to in our communities. So. But that's it, y'all, as far as what happened last week in St. Louis County and St. Louis City governments. I wanted to just make sure to send a friendly reminder. If you have not done so, please take our survey. Go to transform314.org. It literally takes like 5 minutes. It's like 5 or 6 questions. So please make sure you do that. Make sure you include your contact information because you might get $150 on us. So make sure you do that. If there are other ways you want to engage, feel free to hit us up on social media. You can shoot me an email as well at kelly@transform314.org because we do have not one, but 2 virtual, which means you ain't got to leave the house, 2 virtual community conversations that dig a little bit deeper beyond the survey. And we are also providing folks with a $25 Amazon gift card on Transform 314 for their participation because we get it. People's time is money. Okay. And y'all are valuable. We value our people. So that is it, y'all, for tonight. This is our official last Monday Night Live ever. So what's next? What's next for Transform 314? So I just want the people out there to know that our weekly rundowns ain't going nowhere. So it officially will not be called Monday Night Live anymore, but we will still be talking our ish every week about what these folks is doing in the city and what folks are doing in that county, because you know what I'm saying? We need to make sure that we stay ready. So we ain't got to get ready, you know what I'm saying? And that's how I view our weekly rundowns. So just to make sure we are keeping in line with our brand, and also because we not going to be live streaming like every week. I'll probably doing some pre-recordings and we're going to kind of switch around the structure of the show a bit. So stay tuned for that. But it is going to change. So our rundowns will no longer be called Monday Night Live. Instead, the new show, because what are we doing? We are working to transform St. Louis City. We are working to transform St. Louis County. We are looking to transform 314. And that's the name of our organization, is Transform 314. Therefore, our new show will be called the Transform 314 Show. Are we a podcast? Are we a talk show? Are we what are we? We're all of those things, depending on however you view us. So I'll probably refer to it as Transform 314 Show. So yes, y'all, we ain't going nowhere. It's just a different name in a different format. That's it. So yes. So I shall see you all next week. Until then, y'all, please stay safe out there and don't be a stranger. See you soon. Peace.